What is up, Sneeples? Pre-release weekend has came and went. The sealed format was fun. Uzuri was dominant, but now Outsiders release is coming. It's on our doorsteps. That means draft is coming. So whether you're going to be drafting at your armories or you're going to be drafting at the Pro Tour, this video is here to help improve your draft game. I want to do a real quick shout out to Ben Stark. He made an article called Drafting the Hard Way back in 2013. He's a Magic the Gathering limited player that's very good, and I learned quite a bit, and that's what we're going to basically go over, but translate it into Flesh and Blood. First, let's talk about drafting the easy way, because in order to understand what drafting the hard way is, we got to understand what drafting the easy way is. Drafting the easy way is sticking to your early picks, which means having your first 3 picks determine what hero or class you are, and not veering away from that, but instead just doubling down on it and continually picking the cards for that hero or class. Drafting for the nuts. This is talking about drafting cards like something like Dishonor, before drafting a Surging Strike. Drafting for cards that work with other cards, but you don't have the first card first. You're basically drafting the last card or the bomb of whatever combo line that might be before having your base starters. And then finally, drafting with emotions.
You're kidding! Judge.
And basically all this means is that going into a draft and just picking cards because you really like to play with Ninja, you don't want to play with any other class. So these techniques are what I would say about 90% of players out there do. I think 90% of players will draft the easy way and will apply these techniques. Let me just say that sometimes this works.
Nice.
Sometimes you get a 3-0 deck because it just so happened that your neighbors weren't the same hero or class as you, and you feel rewarded and you feel like you've done everything right. Sometimes it doesn't work, and you go 1-2 or even 0-3 and you're scratching your head wondering what happened. Let's get into drafting the hard way, where we can get on average at least a 2-1 deck with a very good chance of getting 3-0. So let's get into that. So the first thing is to basically understand that every set is different and know what to expect from each set. A big example of this is Uprising. Uprising is is actually the only set in Flesh and Blood right now that it does reward you for picking your hero very early on. And the reason for that is because your pack 2 will be your be-all, end-all, and if you can pick your early hero, then you will prevent the neighbor to your left from being that same hero, because you're assuming that you're picking all the good cards. When pack 2 comes around, it should be fairly open for you. This is only for Uprising, but knowing that is a good way to go about a draft. Every other set right now is open. It rewards you for staying open. It rewards you for drafting the underdrafted class. It rewards you for switching. It rewards you for drafting the hard way. So let's get into some of the other points here. Having an understanding of values for each card. What I mean by this is to understand which cards should be drafted before other cards. I have a draft ranking sheets that I made. That link will be below this video. That is what I use when going into a draft, whether or not like a Humble or Destructive Deliberation is better. And then I even have it to where it's like, okay, well, maybe it's pack 3 and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be Uzuri. Which one is more important for Uzuri? Or maybe I'm pretty sure I'm going to be Riptide. Which one's more important for Riptide? So I have it broken down by the different heroes and the different classes. Next one, stay open and be willing to switch. And this is the hardest one. This one you will hear all the time. Everyone says, stay open, stay open, stay open. And that is half the battle, but switching is the real hard part. And that is the part that makes it drafting the hard way. My best advice to this is generics and multi-class cards will make identifying what hero to go after easier. But you should not draft the bombs. If you see a bomb, let's say like a shakedown, like that's a Zuri specialization, only Zuri can use that, but it's a bomb, you should draft the bomb. If there's no other better cards, obviously, that's where the valuations come from. You shouldn't be scared to draft that card. The reason is because you really should be having a value of each card in your pack and draft the best one for the first 5 picks. And that could gift you 3 different class cards. But that's okay, because you're still staying open despite you not getting generics. You have room to have a few picks lost when you pick your final hero. And then now let's talk about switching. Switching is when you pick a hero because it seems to be open, but now you're seeing all these cards come that are of a different class, and it looks to be entirely open. And does that mean you should switch to that class? Well, no, not yet. Is your class still open? Do you still feel like there's a good card in every pack that's coming your way for your class or your hero? If that's the case, well, then it just so happens to be that there is another open hero, but you have a good open hero as well, and you're fine with sticking with your hero instead of switching. However, if it feels like it's drying up, which probably means that your neighbor to your right, assuming this is pack 1, it has picked your hero, it is time to switch. This set, Outsiders, is very good at letting you switch, so just trust the system, you'll be okay. You don't have to pick your hero until the middle of pack 2. You don't even have to pick your class until the beginning of pack 2. So you can stay open through all pack 1 and even a little bit into pack 2. Okay, finally, let's identify the underdrafted heroes in class. That is the biggest thing on drafting the hard way. It's pretty easy to see what classes are open, what heroes are open, but it might be harder to like see it when it first happens, basically. And that gets better over time, but you know, the sooner you're able to identify the underdrafted hero, the sooner you can switch, the sooner you can start drafting more and more cards that are open and more majestics that might get passed around to you. The sooner you can build your deck through draft, and the better your deck will be. All right, so the results. If you start drafting the hard way, let me first say this. It is not going to magically get better. Your first draft will not just be insane, but it will get better over time. So you might end up, when you're drafting the hard way, with the second or third best deck, right? The first best deck will probably be the guy who's drafting the easy way and it all worked out. You probably end up with the second or third best deck, but you will have a very functional deck. You could even end up with the first best deck, just depending on how the whole draft went. I would say that a 2-1 record is a pretty average record drafting in the hard way. You should be able to win your first 2 games. You should have a good functional deck. It's just facing the other 2-0 person who either is drafting the hard way as well, and then it's a 50-50, or might have just had the nuts, might have been drafting easy way and was rewarded for it. You might be a little undervalued, but not by much. The percentages of how good his deck is or her deck is compared to your deck is not that much higher. So therefore 3-0 is very, very doable by drafting this way. In fact, the percentages of you having 3-0 is much higher than you having 3-0 if you went the easy route. That is drafting the hard way.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this shirt or the others we have just like it, we sell shirts and keychains and more to come. Go to fleshandbaubles.com, enter the promo SNEEP, and you can get 10% off your entire order. Some really cool stuff, some really cool gift ideas. We would really appreciate your help supporting us. Thank you.